Who want a ticket straight to them pearly gates?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Steve Fox. We're going to be starting off with Tekken 4, then going to 5, 6, 7, and I want to end the video off with a theory, or just sort of my speculation as to what I think the character will go on to do in Tekken 8. I think it ties heavily with Nina. His whole story overall kind of ties heavy with Nina, and I think that is kind of a double-edged spear. For Steve Fox to be such a iconic character as he is, for him to not have a more prominent role, that goes with a lot of characters you could throw into that same thing. But Steve, I feel, should have a more prominent role in this story. Him being so closely tied to Nina, chasing Nina, trying to get her to her acceptance, I think that kind of holds the character back. But at the end of the video, sort of towards the end of the video, I will be talking about what I think they can do to really make this character's arc truly special. Let's start with Tekken 4. In the last video that I did, I asked you guys, which character do you want me to cover next? You guys chose Steve Fox. I ask you again, put down in the comments which character you think I should do next, and then I will cover it in the next video. But starting with Tekken 4, it says, Prologue text: Steve was a young British boxer enjoying his run as a middleweight champion of the world. Adopted during infancy, Steve sought the identity of his biological parents as well as the origin of the scar on his arm. Now, I believe that is his left arm. It says, one day Steve was ordered by a mafia group to throw the high-stakes fight, but he refused and instead won the fight. Unfortunately, the mafia made good on their threats and put a price on Steve's head. With the mafia in hot pursuit, Steve fled England for United States and led a life on the run. But Steve soon realized that no matter what he did, the mafia would eventually catch and kill him. Motivated by this realization, Steve sought the limelight once again and entered the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4. So his story in Tekken 4 about the mafia chasing after him, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Bruce is put in the same situation. Bruce is also, it's either Bruce, Baek Dusan, or Law. One of those three characters is also put in a situation where someone wants them to throw the fight and they decide not to. So it's a little bit of repetition there, but I think it's okay, right? I give it a pass. And talking about how he's from British. Now, I didn't know that Steve was from Britain. I thought he was an American, but I guess that's because he fled to America, and that's sort of where he settled down at, with the mafia chasing after him and whatnot. Now, they mentioned a little bit in there about him being a sort of a soldier, or this genetically enhanced child, but they didn't tap too deep into it. Let's see if they do in Tekken 5. Tekken 5 says, prologue text: Steve Fox, a boxing prodigy striving to be the world champion. Steve entered the previous tournament to look into the mysteries of his birth. Lei Wulong helped Steve discover that he was actually a creation of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Steve vowed revenge. Just then, Steve learned that King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, the world champion enters without a second thought. A determined Steve says, the Mishima Zaibatsu will never make another monster like me. Okay, so this is where he figures out where he actually comes from. Now, we know that they use a little bit of Nina's DNA to create him. That's why they both have the same hair color and whatnot. Now, we don't know what sort of else went into him. I highly doubt that they would use Mishima blood or something like that to infuse to create these soldiers, because if you were to do that, right, let's play what if real quickly. If Heihachi or Kazuya put Mishima blood into Steve Fox is now going against them. So basically what they would be doing is possibly creating people who are strong enough to defeat them. If you put your blood into some genetically enhanced soldier, your DNA, they may be strong enough to take you out. So that's why I don't think Steve has Mishima Zaibatsu blood in him, because if he did, that would be very dumb on Kazuya and or Heihachi's part. I don't know who was the one who ordered his creation, probably Kazuya, but whichever one, I'm sure didn't put Mishima blood in him. But all we know is that there is a little bit of Nina in him. Now let's talk about Tekken 6. This is where Jin is in control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. So Steve Fox destroyed the Mishima Zaibatsu laboratories and finally cleared his conscience. He then attempted to re-enter the world of boxing, but all the large tournaments was canceled due to outbreak of war around the globe. Without boxing, Steve lost his only livelihood, an unfortunate turn that quickly led to a very unfulfilling life. About the same time, Steve received an invitation from Law and Paul Phoenix to train with them. Steve saw this as a good opportunity to experience other fighting styles and accepted their invitation. So that one, kind of simple there. It's a little bit more here, but no real chasing the Mishima Zaibatsu around. Like he destroyed the laboratories. You know, that's what he set out to do, was to make sure they didn't create more clones. And after he did that, he kind of was just like, what do I do now? That's the thing, you know, when you complete your goal, it's like, what do you do now? That's kind of where he's at. And now we're going to jump into Tekken 7 and we're going to see what it is he decided to do after completing his goal he originally set. It says, Steve Fox has plenty of run-ins with the Mishima Zaibatsu, but he never gave up his research for information about his past. Though his mother's identity remained a mystery, one name in particular began to crop up time and again. Nina Williams. I believe she knew something. Steve began investigating her whereabouts until he came up with a promising lead. This information led him to imposing cathedral. That's, I believe that's Claudio's stage. But it says, as he considered how to best proceed, a figure appeared from inside, dressed in a tattered wedding gown. It was Nina, who seemed to be running away from something. Steve told her to stop, but she ignored him and fled. Determined not to let this opportunity escape, he blocked her path. Now, from this point on, we have the cutscene that takes place. And I seen a very funny meme of this cutscene. I'll try to put it. I don't know if the copyright restrictions or whatnot will get in the way of that, but I'll try to show you guys that. But in the actual canon ending for this, he gets in her way and he's like, oh, I have these thoughts in my head, you know, blah, 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 blah. Are you my mother? And she's like, they may have used my DNA, but I do not care about you at all, right? I have no feelings for you whatsoever. And then as she's saying that, they start to get shot at by what I believe is Mishima Zaibatsu soldiers or G Corporation soldiers, one of the two, I don't know. But they started getting shot at, and Steve tells her, run, I will hold them off. And that's kind of how it ends. And talking a little bit about Tekken 8, where they can take this further, I said in a few videos ago that I think they should have, just how everybody want to see Jin versus Kazuya, who will win between them. I think it's equally as important between Nina and Anna, who will win. And I think maybe they can fight twice, maybe 3 times, I don't know. But I think the first time they fight in Tekken 8, Nina and Anna, I think Anna can be like on the verge of killing Nina, on the verge of like defeating her. And Steve steps in to save her, right? Anna's about to shoot her with a missile or blow her up or something. And Steve runs in and I don't want to say sacrifices himself, but I think that would be cool. But I just think if he steps in and save Anna, let's say they're fighting on top of the Mishima Zaibatsu building. Steve runs up and pushes Anna off the building. Now, of course, she like holds on to like the cliff or the edge or something. She somehow survives. But him saving Nina will just kind of open Nina's eyes and be like, wow, even though he's not like my son, even though like this is not someone that I didn't want this to happen, right? They took my DNA by force. She kind of sees the more human aspect of it. Like Steve didn't ask to get put in this position, just like she didn't ask. So I think they can have sort of that mutual understanding there, and they could build a relationship off of that. And Steve possibly saving her can even like make their strength, their bond even closer. Now, where they would go after that, I don't know. in my head, I think after that, after they talk about, oh, you saved me, yada yada yada, maybe Steve goes off to help Jin or Harang or Lei or whoever, right? He goes off to help someone else, and then sort of towards the end of the Tekken 8 story, Nina and Anna gets their final run back, and Anna is maybe like, your son isn't here, like your mutant son isn't here to save you this time. And she's like, don't talk to him that way. Or she could say something to let us know that she sort of views him in a better light. And then whoever wins out of Nina versus Anna, I don't know, that's up for the developers to decide if they want to do that or not. But I think pushing those two characters closer together would be really cool, because we've seen him for, what is this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 games now chase Nina around. I feel like they should sort of close off that cycle, and they should start these characters on a new path, right? I don't want him to be chasing Nina around in Tekken 8. Maybe it's time for Nina to start like accepting him or something. But that's pretty much it. This is Steve's story for all of the games that he's in. Very short, very simple, and I just want to put my little spin on it with the Tekken 8, sort of try to predict where this character is heading, because I do think Steve is a very iconic character. Maybe not in the story sense, but in gameplay, in tournaments, in fan appeal, I would say. But this is a very iconic character, and I would like to see them do more with him. And that's as well for a lot of the other characters, right? I would like to see them do something more with King, Yoshimitsu, Brian, all these legendary characters. I want to see more. But that's it. Like I said, let me know who you guys think I should cover next. I had fun doing this one, even though it was short. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.